Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Hello students, today we are going to start chapter number 8, India's External Relation from your political science book, class 12. Now in this chapter, what we are going to do, this is the content of the chapter, Principles of Nehru's Foreign Policy, Sino-Indian Relations, India and Pakistan, the 1965 Indo-Pakistan War, India-Pakistan War 1971, and India's approach towards the disarmament. Now let me give you the introduction first. No country in the world can live in isolation, you all know. And there are three reasons why the countries must interact with each other. The very first reason is countries of the world are dependent on each other for trade, commerce, industry and technology. We could say the part of globalization. Second, they depend on each other for growth and expansion of art, literature and culture. Third, one has to establish contacts with the nation for security purposes as well. That means here the exchange of culture, that is part of migration. To protect the country or its interest, for all these reasons, every country tries to have maximum number of friends among nations. That is the essence and objective of a country's foreign policy. In other words, the objective of a foreign policy are safeguarding the independence and the integrity of the country and to ensure ourselves a position in which the foreign countries would be prepared to cooperate with us. Now, there are the principles of Nehru's foreign policy, who was the first Prime Minister, Pandit Nehruji. He was not only the first Prime Minister of India, but also the chief architect of India's foreign policy. So, the principles were non-alignment, anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism, punchil and peaceful coexistence, anti-racialism, promotion of world and peace, faith in the United Nations, respect for human rights and disarmament. Now, what was non-alignment movement? India's external relations were related to all these things. India's external relations were correlated to India's nuclear program, war, peace and with Pakistan, conflict with China, distance from two camps, Afro-Asian unity and Nehru's role. This is a small snapshot the given cartoon by Amul conveys a message on the growing tension between India and China to be resolved, and the Chinese invasion in the year 1962 is being shown here. Now the context, what we are going to do is war witnessed reconstruction of the world, established an international body, collapse of colonialism, and countries were grappling with welfare and democracy, inherited disputes and partition pressures. Now, international and domestic context is work to sovereignty and achieve through foreign relations and maintain peace through DPSP, and domestic and international environment influence the foreign policy of a nation. India had to look at the prevailing climate and took on the NAM faith in the United Nations and special bias for Asia, faith in peaceful coexistence and cooperation, opposition to racialism. Now the outline which we are going to do is opposition to imperialism and colonial rule, an active sympathy and support for the people fighting for the independence, and opposition to war and devotion to peace, and avoiding foreign entanglements for India and historical factors, geographical factors, economic factors and ideological factors. The policy of NAM. And policy of NAM was, we could say, it is a forum of 120 developing world states that are not formally aligned with against any major power bloc, and after the United Nations, it is the largest grouping of states worldwide. And the non-alignment movement was formed during the Cold War, largely on the initiative of the Yugoslavia President Josip Broz Tito as an organization of states that did not seek to formally align themselves with either the United States or the Soviet Union, but sought to remain independent or neutral. According to the critics, NAM is no longer relevant because of the changed international environment from bipolar to unipolar. And membership of the NAM has more than quarter doubled from the about 25 states in 1961 to 118 today. There could be no hope of survival in the age of nuclear bombs if war happens. Now, the factors responsible for non-alignment and global tension caused by the Cold War, struggle against imperialism and new colonization, right of independent judgment, use of modernization, relation in all big powers, restructuring the international economic order and formation of a collective force. Now, this is a picture of Nehru and Krishna Menon, who were the architects of India's foreign policy. Now, what was the role of Nehru? India was the first country to initiate the policy of non-alignment movement and under the leadership of Pandit Nehru. And he called upon the Afro-Asian countries to keep themselves away from the politics of the two opposite um, camps, USA and the Soviet Union, and which had already brought about two world wars. And Nehru led the Afro-Asian countries towards a concept of non-alignment. He led to Bandung Conference along with Joseph Tito, Nazir, Kwame Nkrumah, and many others. Nehru was acknowledged as the greatest spokesperson for the neutrality of the Afro-Asian states in the Cold War era also. He did not approve of military and economic alliances of SEATO, NATO, and the Warsaw Pact and Common Form, and Nehru was against the philosophy advocated the two power blocs. And the objectives of these non-alignment movements were to eliminate causes which cause led to war, to protect the emerging freedom of the newborn independent countries of Asia and Africa from colonial domination, to protect human rights and the environment, educate sovereign equality of all states, advocate peaceful settlement of international issues, oppose colonialism, imperialism, and racial discrimination, encourage the friendly relations among the countries.